Meet a 4-year-old in America. They wake up before sunrise. They clock into their first job. They rush across town for their second. 2 jobs. 0 security. Rent keeps rising. Groceries burn through paychecks. Savings don't exist. Not because they're reckless. Not because they're lazy. Because it's not enough anymore. Their parents owned homes in their 20s. This generation rents bedrooms. Their parents built lives. Gen Z builds survival routines. By night, they're exhausted. By morning, they start again. And somewhere between shift 1 and shift 2, something breaks. Not the body, hope. Gen Z might work the hardest and own the least. Not later. Now. This isn't about bad choices. This is about being born into a game where the rules changed before you arrived. And if one generation was designed to fall behind, it might be this one. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this happened. Not the version you've heard, not the one that blames you, not the one that says you just didn't try hard enough. This is not a motivational speech. This is not financial advice. And this is not about telling you to wake up earlier, or work later, or save harder. We're not here to sell you hope. We're here to show you the truth. By the time this ends, you'll know why paychecks stopped growing, why rent didn't, why debt exploded, and why the future feels smaller. No matter how hard you work, you'll see when the rules changed. You'll see who changed them, and you'll see who walked away richer while you were promised security. This is not a video about success. It's a video about design, about how a generation was quietly built to start with less, earn slower, and fall behind faster. If you've ever wondered why doing everything right still feels wrong, if you've ever asked why your parents' lives looked easier, if you've ever felt like the finish line keeps moving, stay. Because the story you're about to see was never supposed to be this clear. Rent is the first trap. It doesn't look dangerous at first. It looks normal. A lease. A signature. A monthly number that seems manageable, until it isn't. Every year, rent climbs, but paychecks barely move. Gen Z doesn't fall behind all at once. They bleed slowly. Half. Sometimes more. Half their income disappears into housing before life even begins. They don't pay to live. They pay to not be homeless. And while wages whisper, rent shouts. A studio costs what a family home once did. And the word starter home doesn't mean anything anymore. For Gen Z, home ownership is no longer a goal. It's a fantasy. Then comes the next trap. College. What used to be opportunity became obligation. A degree was supposed to be a ladder. Now it's a lease on your future. Students graduate not with freedom, but with chains. Tens of thousands in debt, sometimes more. A loan that follows you into every decision. What job you take, where you live, how you breathe. They were told, borrow now, win later, but later never came. Only interest did. Then there's healthcare, the trap no one plans for, but everyone fears. One accident, one illness, one ambulance ride, and everything changes. People don't ignore pain. They avoid bankruptcy. They don't skip doctors because they're brave. They skip because they're broke. Healthcare isn't about getting better in America. It's about how sick you can afford to be. And finally, the gig culture. Freedom, they said. Flexibility, they promised. What they forgot to mention was the risk. No benefits, no raises, no safety. Just schedules that vanish. Just algorithms that decide your worth. Just work. That could disappear tomorrow. This is not a safety net. It's a tightrope. One slip, and you vanish. Each trap alone would be survivable. All of them, together, make poverty permanent. And here's the part that hurts most. None of this is rare. It's normal now. Normal to rent forever. Normal to graduate in debt. Normal to avoid doctors. Normal to work endlessly and still feel replaceable. Gen Z didn't walk into this. They were born into it. And once inside, it doesn't let go easily. Not with one job. Not with 2 jobs. Not even with 3. Because this isn't a problem of effort. It's a problem of math. And the numbers do not work in your favor. For a while, it feels personal, like you're doing something wrong, like everyone else figured out a secret you missed. But then you start to notice something strange. It's not just you. It's not your friends. It's not your city. It's not even your generation alone. It's the rules. A long time ago, hard work used to mean something. If you worked more, you earned more. When companies grew, paychecks grew with them. For decades, productivity and pay moved together. Then one day, they didn't. Factories got faster. Computers made work easier. The internet made everything move at the speed of light. Businesses produced more than ever before, and workers became more efficient than any generation in history. But wages stopped. From the late 1970s, something snapped. Productivity kept rising. Pay didn't. One line raced upward, the other went flat. And nobody told you. You were trained with old rules for a new game. Then worker power disappeared. Unions once stood between workers and collapse. They fought for wages, weekends, safety, dignity. When unions were strong, so were workers. Then they were broken. Not overnight, slowly, by laws, by outsourcing, by fear. Organizing turned dangerous. Asking for more became a risk. If you pushed, someone else would take your place. And now, automation. Robots don't strike. Software doesn't complain. AI never sleeps. The future of work doesn't ask how you feel. It asks how fast you are. And if you're slower than a machine, you're optional. Jobs you trained for years to get now disappear in seconds. Not because you failed, because code did it faster. So when people say, just work harder, they're using the wrong language. This isn't about effort. It's about leverage, and leverage is gone. The money didn't disappear, it moved, and it didn't move downward, it moved up. While Gen Z struggled to survive, corporations thrived. Every year, record profits. Every year, larger bonuses. Every year, higher stock prices. The news called it growth. But for workers, it felt like theft, because corporations didn't get richer by magic. They got richer by controlling wages, by cutting benefits, by shrinking staff, by demanding more work for the same pay. It wasn't about success, it was about extraction. Then the economy changed shape, not by accident, by design. Wall Street didn't just invest in companies, it absorbed them. The goal stopped being better products. It became bigger returns. Factories turned into assets. Homes turned into investments. And people turned into costs. Financialization didn't make things fairer. It made them colder. Your job became a number. Your rent became a trade. Your future became an entry in a spreadsheet. Then there were the shareholders, the ones who own but don't show up. They didn't build the company. They didn't run the shifts. They didn't answer customers. But they collected the rewards. Dividends rose. Stock prices soared. And wages did not. Workers made wealth. Shareholders took it. And then came the global market. Not cooperation, competition. Your paycheck now competed with the lowest bidder on earth. If you asked for more, someone, somewhere, would take less. Corporations learned a simple rule. Labor is cheaper if you can find it anywhere. Factories moved. Jobs followed. Wages stayed behind. Not because American workers failed, but because the auction never ended. And here's where it all becomes clear. If your pay didn't rise, it's because it went somewhere else. Not to another worker, to a balance sheet, to a boardroom, to a portfolio, to someone who never met you. And that leads to the truth. The system didn't break. It worked, just not for you. It delivered profit. It rewarded ownership. It amplified capital. It just abandoned labor. You weren't unlucky.